Alright, welcome to a tutorial on how to make a button in Photoshop. So first thing to do is let's open Photoshop and let's go ahead and go to File, New, create a new document. We can name this button. And let's change our width from inches to pixels, and let's do 100 wide by 60 pixels high. And that'll create a nice button size for us. It's kind of small. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so you guys can see. So with the magnifying tool, just zooming in. And first thing I want to do is choose the paint bucket tool and choose a color, the foreground color there, which is black on my screen. I'm going to go ahead, scroll up on that skinny column to the right, and let's choose a green color because I'm going to make a start button. So green means start. So with the paint bucket, just fill that in. And I'm going to duplicate this layer so I can make adjustments to a layer other than my background layer. So I'm just going to save it as background copy. And with this layer still selected, I'm going to choose the FX button at the bottom of this column and choose blending options. And here's where I can give a 3D effect to my button. I'm going to choose bevel and emboss, and let's go ahead and up the size a little bit to make the edges a little bit bigger. I'm going to change the depth up somewhere around 800 or 900, maybe a little bit down, maybe 600 or so. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the softness just a little bit, maybe 1 pixel or so, 1 or 2 pixels will be good. Then you can change the angle of the light, which is down under shading. You can do whatever you want. I'm probably gonna put it somewhere in the upper left hand quadrant of this circle, and a little bit in towards the center. And I'm gonna change the opacity of both my highlight and my shadow just up close to 90% or so to give it a little bit of a more contrasted look to it. And I'm going to choose OK, and now let's add some text. So choose the text tool, and again let's change the color. So the same way we changed the color green, let's change it to white this time. And again I just went into the color drop tool and went all the way to the bottom right hand corner to get white. Choose OK, and now we'll just click in the button somewhere and I'll type start. And if you want to change your size, you can highlight your word that you just wrote. I'm going to choose size 24, and my text is going to be impact, but you can do whatever you want, whatever you think looks good. And then with the selector tool, which is in the upper right hand corner of my tool selection box, I'm going to move it to the center. So that's what it looks like up close, but from far away, it looks like a pretty good start button. So let's go ahead and save this. File, save as. Make sure you save it as a JPEG or some other kind of flattened file. I'm going to save it as start button on my desktop. And you can change the quality here to make it take up less size, but it's a pretty small, relatively small file, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at maximum file size. I'm going to quit Photoshop for a second and make sure to save your Photoshop file if you ever want to make your start button and end button. You can just change the text later. But here it is, my JPEG start button that I can put in some kind of presentation. And there you have it. How to make a button in Photoshop.